Radio waves are everywhere. RF transmitters are used for your car's key fob, your garage door opener, and yes, even the optical TV remote control emits RF. To receive specific RF transmissions, you have to have the correct antenna. For the lower ham radio frequencies, long antennas are required. For higher frequencies, like 2 GHz, a microwave feed horn and dish will work. For TV reception where VHF and UHF are used, 2 antennas or a modified antenna is needed. UHF will need a smaller antenna than VHF, more commonly seen as a loop antenna. You can also use a dipole or a folded dipole for UHF reception. The length and distance between the folded sections is critical. TV channels 2 through 13 are in the VHF band, 57 to 213 megahertz. Channels 14 through 69 are in the UHF TV band, going from 470 to 806 megahertz, with some exceptions. Channels 59, 60, 61, 65, 66, 70 through 83 are for 4G Lite. In addition, channel 37 is for radio astronomy, 611 megahertz. A homemade UHF antenna for channel 14. From another antenna commercially made, I had this first on the front as directors going to the folded dipole. I'll show you in a second. Folded dipole, and it didn't work, so I put this on the back as a reflector, and the picture came in. So then at night, I don't know if they reduced power or we had a storm on the mountain or what, but I started getting pixels at nighttime on channel 14.2. So I said, you know, maybe I should put a director on the front and a reflector on the back. So I went to some websites, and you punch in the frequency and how many directors you have, and they give you. So here I wrote down my measurements, calculations, distance between elements, length of the reflector, directors, and that's all on the internet. You just punch in the frequency and it'll tell you how long your directors have to be per element out, and then length of the reflector. So I did that and put it on the roof, and it didn't work so well. So I had to troubleshoot. Okay, just as an example, if this is the boom, and I have and this is facing the mountain, so I put a director on the front, and then I also put I put a reflector similar to this ruler but cut down. I put it on the back, so I had a reflector 5 inches away from the driven element, the folded dipole, and then I had a director of a certain length 5 inches away from the folded dipole. Well, through experimentation, I took off the director with the reflector on, and the TV picture was still bad. So I put the director back on and removed the reflector, and the picture came in. So I said, well, that's interesting. I could just leave it like that or experiment and figure out the distance of the driven element to the reflector. So maybe my calculations were off. So I used a ruler and put 1/4-inch marks on the beam towards the back for the reflector. And somewhere in here, I don't know if it was 3 or 4, the picture kind of got better, and then as I got closer, reflector to the folded dipole, it just got worse. So I said, well, I could just leave it off and just keep the director on. That's probably what I'll do right now, because I think it warmed up to about 40 degrees this morning. So I was on the roof maybe 20 times doing this experiment. I should have taken the cable off, dropped it to the ground, and done the experiment there, but you know, things change. If you're on the ground testing something and it works and then you put it on the roof, it may not work. So I tried sheet metal back here. I tried a piece bigger than this behind the driven element on the roof, weighted down, and the picture did not get better, and I said, okay, I've been on this roof a zillion times. I'm not being scientific about it. I'm just going to take all this down in the weights. So anyway, I left it up there. You'll see it. That's my antenna for today. It's not scientific, but it's fun. So thanks a lot.